Tab that you bust and fight, type of light, type of light. Every night you don't fight, take a sight, live a sight, veggie shows and escapades. Fancy arcade, pixelated party lesson, they unafraid. Karaoke screams, singing themes, heart and sleeves. Anime dreams, brushing seams, city gleams, dancing screams, endless streams, less extreme. Saturday gleams, so it's day gleams, so it seems nothing rings. Raise the channel, riot loud, crowd unbowed, techno sound, pulses pound, dream astound, youth unbound, joy profound, lost and found. Channel raver on the prowl, echoes howled.
It's like a bowl of Saturday morning cartoon goodness to wake you up. That cheery little song, 7 o'clock in the morning here at Site B. We're getting started a little early because we got an interview at 8. I'm joined by Steve the Cat. It is cold and gloomy outside, a mopey day. So let's fill it with some joy and fun. Prowl through the amazing world of the interweb and make some new friends, spread some positivity, spread some kindness, step further and further away every day from the negativity of certain carrier eaters and other idiots, and just embrace some new channels and make some new friends. All these links come to us from our good friend Jeff's Gamebox. Please support him. We want him to get to 1,000 subs as soon as possible. New friend number 1 is Nightsaber742. And Nightsaber742 says, I cover tabletop role-playing games. Some of my current series includes reviews, where I review a wide variety of tabletop role-playing games, and Character Vault, where I go through the process of creating characters using different systems. Also, show your support by subscribing to my channel for the latest videos. He's got to subscribe. He's got a Kickstarter, and his name is Nightsabers742. I wonder if he knows about Bubblegum Crisis and the Nightsabers from Bubblegum Crisis, or if he came up with the name without any knowledge of the Nightsabers from Bubblegum Crisis whatsoever. Who here remembers Bubblegum Crisis? I do. Let's give him a like, share, and subscribe. He's got 1.77K subscribers and 1.7K videos. But damn, I'm now number 1.78, and his last video was 3 days ago, where he reviews World of Killers. And then he reviewed Metro Otherscape Solo Play Session number 8. I guess that's a role-playing game he's reviewing. 10 days ago, he reviewed Outgunned. I hate the people that have the economy and the wherewithal to be able to order games and review them, because I can't do that. Unless you want to send me a game for free, I'm not reviewing, because I cannot afford to buy a game simply for the sake of reviewing it, knowing that I'll probably never, ever use it, no matter how curious I'm about the system, because I'm very curious about the Outgun system, especially their superhero system. But if I'm never going to run it and I'm never going to play it, there's really no reason for me to own it. But yeah, so he's covering the juices out of the Outgun systems. I have only heard positive things about Outgun, so I assume Nightsabers agrees with me. So yeah, just review, another review, some solo play. More reviews. Why is it when I tried solo play, it didn't work? But whenever everybody else does solo play, it seems to work amazingly well. I don't know. It's like, how can I break solo play? I don't know how to break everything else. Review. Yeah, just basically just reviews and then playing around with some systems. So pretty much what he says he does. His thumbnail game is on. He's got his little icon dude. Got the top-down camera going on, very professional. All in all, looking pretty cool, looking like a dude I definitely want to check out. Definitely want to go through his reviews of Outgunned. He hasn't done the superhero one yet, but we got Outgunned and Outgunned Adventure. Outgunned Adventure is more like the pulp era Indiana Jones stuff, and Outgunned Normal is more like the 80s, 90s action TV movie genre, stuff like that. So, badam! What do you guys think? Looks like a cool dude to make new friends with. Moving on. We've got Adirondacks Hobby and Craft. Adirondacks Hobby Crafts has got 1.17 subscribers, 101 videos. And he says, I'm just an aging nerd, finally diving into the aspect of the gaming hobby that filled me with fear for decades. Painting minis and crafting terrain. Adirondacks Game Crafts is a vlog part tutorial, part exploration. Most of my videos will feature some technique that I'm trying out for the first time while using my limited amount of crafting tools and materials. Sound like my kind of do. I'm not going to shy away from showing my mistakes and talking about what I learned from the experience. Sounds like my kind of dude. Sprinkled in amongst this will be short D&D themed videos. D&D is one of the games that led me to this point of making, so why not talk about it? New videos every Friday. All right, so last time he posted was 3 hours ago. So here's him talking about D&D. Here's him talking about why undead were terrifying back in the old days. And he's doing the thing where he plays the game with himself, you know? Why were undead terrifying in the old days and they're not so as terrifying now? Because in the old days, the undead took stuff away, right? They would sap your stats or they would suck your levels. Now they just apply disadvantage. Which disadvantage I think is awesome because it gets away from all the mechanics, the wherewithal of, trying to refigure everything. But disadvantage doesn't stack. And that progressive, stat loss and the progressive level loss from fighting undead in the old days does stack. I think you can only give somebody disadvantage once. But yeah, so yeah, undead in the old days was turning. So here's him talking about D&D, dice, D&D. Where's the crafting videos? Here's one. Here's a crafting video. 4 months ago, he did a crafting video. 4 months ago, then just talking about the game. Here's more crafting. So we got to go a little bit deep to get the crafting. Before that, he was doing mostly just reviewing D&D, talking about psionics and why they brought them back. But hey, and he lives in the Adirondacks, right? The Adirondacks, that's like Tennessee in that area, right? I don't know, but my kind of dude who's not afraid to make a fool of himself, my kind of dude who's not afraid to admit he makes mistakes and show his mistakes as he's recording and then work through what he learned. So he lives out in the Adirondacks. At least I assume he lives in the Adirondacks since that's why he's calling himself that. So bam, let's give him a like, share, and subscribe. Please give this guy your support if you want to watch some guy do some crafting or talk about different aspects of older incarnations of our hobby. Ooh, I used a big word. Older incarnations of our hobby. How come I haven't used that one before? All right, we got another art one. It looks like this is Odd Artworks. Odd Artworks has 1.38K subscribers, 39 videos, a channel about creations of weird, surreal, odd, or humorous artwork in the form of demonstrations, workshops, time-lapse, and discussions. The workshop has a strong leaning towards tabletop role-playing. Okay, let's give him a like, share, and subscribe. Spadam or her. I like, share, and subscribe. They did the last video was 3 days ago where they're drawing a crypt. So here's them doing art. Here's them drawing an art. Here's them answering how I do the things. Here's Dungeon a Day from May. Here's them talking about an RPG they made. More dungeoning, more drawing. Okay, this is basically just a guy drawing tabletop role-playing game themed art. Some of his stuff looks pretty good. I mean, look at that one there.
What's 93? Well, simple.
Oh, wow, look at that. This guy's pretty good. He's got this derpy-looking mushroom wizard. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like his little map-making skills. Yeah. All right, so this guy just basically, we got videos of him drawing and talking about drawing and talking about the different methods of drawing and Dungeons a Day, different things, just art. I love me some art because I cannot draw worth Budkiss. So watching other people draw who are better than me both fills me with joy and, of course, a tinge of jealousy because then I'm like, I want to be able to draw. I don't know. If I had a choice between being able to draw maps and stuff like this guy does or being able to draw characters from our product, I'd probably choose that. Because my AI game is still pretty mediocre and sometimes AI just doesn't get the images I see. So stuff looks a lot like our good friend Aaron's, but there's definitely a lot of other influences in this stuff too. So basically, yeah, this is just a guy drawing maps, sort of like similar to old Runehammer, and talking about the maps and talking about how to run the maps and what's in the maps and his thought pattern behind the maps or whatever it is he's drawing, and holding our hand and letting us explore his world with him. So yeah, totally cool. Totally appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jeff, as always, for sharing me these links. The last one is a tabletop role-playing game. I don't remember if Jeff sent me this link or if these guys wanted me to shout out their thing. I think it was Jeff, because these guys were talking about goblins. And we know that goblins have a tendency to be the number one protagonists in a lot of my product. So these guys have a goblin role-playing game. So here's their Age of Goblins role-playing game. And here's their Age of Goblins forest map. And here's their Age of Goblins campaign setting. So it's just a world of goblins, player character goblins, NPC goblins, goblins doing goblin stuff. Lots of goblins. Who here loves goblins? I love goblins. Who here loves goblins? My occasional partner in crime, Aaron Cornelius, and his never-ending goblin awesomeness. So yeah, you just got Quintessence Games, and they make goblins, and they've got a game called The Age of Goblins. And since I do goblins, I guess that's why Jeff sent me the link. So hey, thanks for sharing your game with us, Quintessence. Am I saying that right? Quintessence. And thanks for sharing the goblin love. Oh my God, always nice to share some goblin love. I wonder if the Age of Goblins island is somewhere in my Goblin Apocalypse campaign setting. Who knows? Maybe. Okay. Pretty good. We have a tabletop role-playing game company, an arts company, a crafting company, and a guy talking about role-playing and solo playing. But we also got to shout out our VTuber of the week. But damn, this is the Electric Goat. The Electric Goat has 539 subscribers, 80 videos. Electric Goat is a lover of classic cinema, crappy horror, good whiskey, and weird facts and strange people. She is also the owner of Electric Goat Editing, working with indie authors and tabletop role-playing game developers to make your creations the best they can be. I was actually going to do some editing with her, but unfortunately, with my finances being so hard right now, I can't. So she does movie reviews, and she's done a lot of amazing interviews. I don't know how, but every time I look, she's got interviewing somebody else. How come nobody ever wants to interview me? So yeah, she's cool, and I've traded conversations with her on the email, and I've traded conversations with them on the Twitter, and I really like the stuff they talk about. We've talked about zombies. We've talked about the Zack Snyder and the Rebel Moon / Army of Dead universe and what happened with that. So here's our VTuber. Why is she a VTuber? Because she uses a virtual avatar as opposed to a real life avatar. Somebody gave her a little bit of a talking down to because she chose to use a virtual avatar as opposed to her face. And I'm sure they have their reasons for why they don't show their face. And you know what? You don't have to show your face. And if anybody tells you, showing your face will help your channel grow, that is probably true. But on the other hand, considering how toxic the internet is and how scary the world is right now, and how easy it is for somebody to find you without you even trying to dox yourself. God forbid that you're actually somebody who's doxing yourself. Yeah, I don't know. I think it feels to me like going with the virtual avatar is the way to go. I don't want people really to know what I look like and or where I live outside of the game chum. And maybe that's the reason why I miss Goat uses a digital avatar instead of their face. It could be other reasons, or it could simply be because they don't want to dox themselves. And considering that recently I can think of one individual who just from posting videos and talking has informed me without even trying where they live, their address and stuff like that. It's very easy to dox yourself. So yeah, if you don't feel comfortable showing your face, it's fine. More power to you. Thanks for talking to me about editing Electric Goat and about zombies. And I look forward to continuing our conversation about the shared universes of Zack Snyder that never get to be seen because, you know, whatever happened to the rest of the Army of the Dead universe, Zack Snyder, or the Rebel Moon universe, or your Justice League universe. Yeah. So, yeah, Electric Goat, VTuber of the day. We love VTubers. We know that the reason why I started this, how many ever episodes of this I started was because of a VTuber, specifically Iron Mouse, who is one of my heroes. So every time I can meet a new VTuber, that's great. And every time I can find a new VTuber that's talking about role-playing, that's even greater. So thank you, Electric Goat, for being an awesome. And goats are awesome. I've got some goats that live a few blocks away from where I live. You guys have seen them in the past. I wonder if she's one of the goats. I didn't know goats could type, you know, on the computer, because I'm pretty sure goats don't have opposable thumbs. But that hasn't stopped her. Not only is she on the computer, she's drinking. Look at that, double-fisted drinking. And she can put on a tie. Not bad for a goat. So thank you, Eclectic Goat, for being eclectic and awesome. And that's it for this week. Thank you, Jeff's Games Box, for the links as always. If you have a channel you'd like me to shout out on a Saturday, please send me a DM me a link. If you know, maybe we can talk, chat, play together, just hang out. I can find out more about you. You can find out more about me. You can tell me about what role playing is like in your end of the world, or if you've got products that you want somebody to shout out, or whatever. Just, I'm here, and I'm always looking to make new friends and share some positivity. So have a great Saturday. I'll talk to you later. Don't forget to check out my interview with Victor in an hour. We're going to talk about Blacklight. This time we're going to get it right. We're going to just keep trying this until we get it right. So, yeah.
Tab that you both screaming fight, tag of lights at the lights. Every night you don't fight, they decide with the sights that you shows in the escapade. That's the arcade, pixelated party lesson, they unafraid. Karaoke screams, singing themes, heart and sleeves. Anime dreams, brushing seams, city gleams.